Now, we want to talk this morning about drugs and drug abuse. So, of course, tomorrow is International Illicit Drugs Day, and we want to look at the whole subject of that. It's the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, okay, better known or also known as the World Drugs Day. All right, so we're going to have a conversation this morning about that. And I've been joined in studio by Mr. Francis Opoku Amoah, and he is the head of communication at the Drug Control Board. Now, Commission, yeah. So help us to understand. First of all, I think that there's a lot of confusion as far as what is a drug. You know, is it the concept that people have as in cocaine, heroin, those are drugs. Okay. Weed, those are drugs. Okay. But what is a drug?
Okay, thank you so much. And we're grateful for the opportunity to be here and to talk about this subject. I think when we talk about drug, generally the United Nations has schedules. And under those schedules, they classify certain drugs as legal drugs and others as hard, illegal, or banned substance. Okay. So when we talk about drug, what we're simply saying is that anything when you put into your body, it changes the way the body functions, or the way the body acts. And therefore, when you're sick and you go to the hospital and you tell the doctor that I'm having pains, and the doctor prescribes certain medication for you, what it does is that it's going to act on where there's a problem. So it's going to change what the problem was to a different thing. But when we talk about drugs, that is a legal way.
Yes.
So the doctor will give you, say, paracetamol, and say that you take 2 in the morning, afternoon, and the evening, before or after meals. Yeah. So once you're doing that, then definitely you're going according to the prescription of the doctor. Yeah. But when you talk in our sense, when we talk about drugs, we're talking about hard drugs, we're talking about banned substances, we're talking about illegal drugs. Okay. And therefore, when we say drugs in our sense, then we mean those drugs that when you put in, it changes, it acts on your psyche. It changes the way you think, the way you move, and the way you act. Yeah. And therefore, per the UN schedules, we have cocaine, we have heroin, and we also have weed. And we also have other synthetic drugs, like we know the methamphetamines and cat and all those ones, they all fall under the illegal drugs. So when we talk about drugs, those are those are drugs, and also those drugs sometimes affect you depending on which one you take. Yes.
Where would you clarify something like tramadol? Where would you classify it? Considering the fact that it's also used medicinally to help.
Yeah, like I said initially, like the UN schedules is not part of it. Okay. It's a legal drug. Okay. It's a prescribed drug. Okay. That when somebody is in severe pain, as we've been told by doctors, you take it and you're good. Okay. But what we've realized is that young people think that when they take those, especially the tramadol we're talking about, they get certain feeling that sometimes they could get in weed, which is illegal. And they think that, oh, tramadol is legal, so instead of me going to do an illegal thing, then let me resort to tramadol, which is legal one, and I'll be fine. Okay. But what we've realized is that even that, which falls under the purview of the Food and Drugs Authority, even that, we're saying that is a prescriptive drug, and therefore the doctor would have to tell you that you can take a maximum of, say, 100 grams. Okay. You can't go beyond that. Yeah. Or you can take 50 grams. And that is why Food and Drugs Authority is saying, and they are fighting it, that people, whether it's a pharmacy shop or it's a chemical shop, if you're selling more than the 100 grams, then they'll have a problem with you. Okay. And therefore, we say that even though tramadol is a legal drug, it's pain relief or pain alleviation, we say that people who normally use it are likely to turn on to use other ban or other harder
stuff.
Yeah. So what we do is that when we have the opportunity to go out to educate, we just tell people that don't start it at all, because once you start doing it, it's likely that you're going to graduate or migrate from doing the tramadol, which is a legal one, to any other hard or banned substance, which can put you into trouble.
Okay, good. Now, so before we get into the hard drug conversation and then look at the legal implications of the new law, you know, that has eased up for some medicinal and industrial use and so on, let's talk about the issue of counseling and the facilities that are available within our space in Ghana, as far as the substance abuse is concerned. Because if you're looking at, just as you said, I mean, if you're looking at something like tramadol, which is perfectly legal, it's off the counter, it's prescriptive, I can buy it, but then now I'm in the space where I feel that I'm getting a certain kick or a certain high from using it. So what we have in our space in terms of counseling and advice and helping people, even rehabilitation.
What is one of the key things that we do as part of our jobs. One of the key things is rehabilitation, counseling, rehabilitation, and social reintegration. It's part of the things that we do. So when you come to our office, and indeed, all the 10 regions, we have 16, but we are in 10. All the 10 that we are in, if you go there, you're likely to have a counselor. To have a counselor there. And what they do is that on regular basis, on daily basis, they are available, they are experts to offer those experts advice. So that people who now say that, I'm in a bad position, I don't want to do the drug again, I now recognize it, I want to give up. When they come, we are able to assess them and refer them to these appropriate facilities that are available. When you talk about the facilities that are available, we have the Kolebu Addictive Unit, which is there. We also have St. Francis, which is in Ashaman, and we have other ones that are available, that once you come to our place, we're able to assess you and determine which one will be better for you. When you talk about our new bill, the Narcotics Control Commission bill, 2020 Act 1019, it's talking about a situation where the commission will be able to build rehabilitation centers where we'll be able to rehabilitate people who have drug use disorders, so that they will become relevant, they will become responsible people to society again. That is where the reintegration aspect comes in, because once we're able to get off those drugs and you recover, then we'll say that, yes, what were you doing? What do you want to do? I want to go into this trade, I want to learn that, I want to learn that. Then we put you back into those trade, then you become responsible, you become productive for yourself, your family, and the nation as a whole.
Now, let's segue from there into the conversation about hard drugs. I'm interested in the part of the bill that talks about the use for medicinal and industrial purposes. It seems almost as though we are sort of slowly trying to feel our way as far as the issue of cannabis, marijuana is concerned. A lot of countries, not a lot of countries, but some countries have completely lifted restrictions on it. Ghana seems to be sort of slowly easing our way to maybe eventually that place as well. What does it actually mean when you say medicinal and industrial purposes?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I think that Friday, 20th March, when Parliament passed the bill, there was a lot of noise. There was a lot of talk that, now Parliament and the presidency or the president has given us the opportunity to use, smoke, and do everything cannabis. that is not the position of the law.
Okay.
The law, when you read the section 37, 38, up to the 39, 40, it talks about the fact that if you cultivate, if you plant, if you grow, if you trade in, if you use cannabis, it's illegal.
Okay.
It's illegal. It's there in the law. It's illegal. So when you come to the 43, that is where it talks about special provision relating to cannabis cultivation.
Yeah.
And there, what the law is trying to say is this, that even though, in spite of the fact that 37, 38, 39 talks about it as being illegal, there is this special dispensation where the minister, in consultation with a commission, may grant, I think the word there is may, may grant a license to somebody to cultivate cannabis which has 0.3 THC content. Those are there. Those are there in the law. 0.3 THC content. When you read the 43(2), it talks about the fact that for avoidance of doubt, when we talk about cannabis, we are not referring to the recreational one, that when you go high, when you take, it takes you to some place, because the THC content in that one is far, far, far more than the 0.3. So it states it there clearly that is not for the recreational one. But this one that we're talking about, the hemp, that the industrial hemp or for medicinal purposes, it should contain not more than 0.3. And that one, what we're looking to get is the fiber in it. Once we're able to get the fiber, we'll be able to use the fiber to do other industrial things. We know that in some countries, as some people are saying, that you can use it to do even belts or shirts or other things. We know that you can get the jute sack in the fiber. So when the law says that you have that permission, even that permission is not an open one. You still need to secure a license from the minister so that you'll be able to cultivate that one. And even that one, when you're cultivating, we're saying that it should be 0.3% of THC content. So it is far from the jubilation. It's far from what people were thinking and saying that now you can smoke, because if you smoke, it's illegal. If you possess, if you trade in, you're committing an offense which the law can catch up with you and deal with you.
Let me ask you, recreational drugs in a country like Holland, for example, marijuana can be used recreationally. There are other places in the world it can. What are we so afraid of?
I think I don't think that we've gotten to the point where we have all these facilities that you mentioned. The rehab centers, those facilities that when people have a problem, they can easily run to those places and get professional help. I don't think we're there yet. And we also know that those recreational ones are those with high THC content. The THC is the active ingredient in the weed, and therefore is the one that acts on our minds,
on our brains,
on our brains and our minds and our psyche. So once we begin to allow people to freely use it, the consequences we might not be able to control. And therefore, it is very, very important that as a nation, we tread cautiously. And as a nation, we try as much as we can to make sure that we get there. Once we get there and all of us think and know that we're at a point where we can tell people that if you want to do it for recreational purposes, you can go ahead. We have joints where we sell it openly. You can go and do it. When we get there, then we know. Because we know that persons and people like Dr. Akwasi Osei has constantly and continuously talked about the fact that if we do that, then what we're going to experience is that we're going to have a lot of people who might have challenges with their brains and with their minds.
Yeah. If you're watching and you have any questions for Mr. Francis Opoku Amoah, kindly use the hashtag Breakfast Daily or send us WhatsApp messages on 0550585832 to let us know the questions that you have. We can put it to him right here. But just before you leave us also, let's talk about the issue of, or the subject of World Drug Day. You know, what are you doing? Are we doing anything to commemorate the day and so on and so forth? Then if you can also help us to understand what parents can do if they have challenges with any of their children, you know, struggling.
Yeah, that's good. I think World Drug Day is an international day. It's celebrated annually on 26 June. And it's celebrated everywhere in the world. Member states of the United Nations celebrate the day. And it gives us, the day gives us the opportunity to assess how we're doing as a nation regarding, somebody will say, the fight. It gives us also the opportunity to tell people that this is where we are, this is the support we need from you as citizens, so that together we'll be able to fight it. So it's a day that we assess ourselves, it's the day that we say that how are we doing, where can we improve, and what can we do to make sure that the incidence of drug and drug abuse is minimal. So what we are doing this year is that across all over the country, our offices, through the social media and the traditional media, are engaging the people. They're disseminating information that is helpful, appropriate information that is helpful to people. And that is what we're going to do, and that is what we're doing in Accra. Tomorrow being the day, we're going to also, as the thing that we normally do, we destroy drugs. That is, there's a drug destruction that we do, which we're going to do tomorrow.
Where do you get these drugs from?
They are the seized drugs, those ones that we seize. And before we do that, a court would have to give us the certificate of destruction, which we have secured. So tomorrow we're going to do that. The significance of that is that if you invest in that area, if you cultivate it, we arrest you, we seize them, we're going to destroy them. Your investment is going to go down the drain. Coming back this year, the theme for the year is better knowledge for better care. And we always say that knowledge is power. So what we're telling parents, we're telling other people, caregivers, is that once you have better knowledge, you'll be able to help people professionally. You'll be able to give better information to people in order to act on it. We're telling parents who have challenges that the Narcotics Control Commission, our door is open. Anybody who has any challenge, any problem, can walk into our office or go into any of our regional offices and talk to them. There are avenues, there are professionals, there are people who are trained, who are available to give help, so that together we'll be able to restore, together we'll be able to rehabilitate that young man who needs help. So our doors are open. Anybody who has a genuine cause and would want to come to our office is open, and we can always receive them and help them.
Do you have any relationship with schools? I mean, in terms of like sick bays, counselors who are in schools and so on. Do you have any?
We do. We work closely with a lot of government institutions. When you come to the security ones, we have interagency for them. We also have an interagency for the non-security one, which is the education. We work closely with Ghana Education Service. We also do with Food and Drugs Authority. We also work closely with faith-based institutions. We work across every and any identifiable body that we know, that because one of the things that we know is that the drugs thing is a shared responsibility, and the commission alone cannot do it, and therefore we require that all these agencies, all these identifiable bodies, we come together and we educate the public. We go to schools, we go to churches, like I said, identifiable bodies. If you contact us, we are ready to offer educational programs for you and to your institutions.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Francis Opoku Amoah. Mr. Francis Opoku Amoah is the head of communications and media relations at the Narcotics Control Commission.